Welcome to Review Rewind, the show where a couple of friends watch movies of old and aim to figure out if the reviewers were spot on or a little off. I'm your host, Mike.
And I'm Tristan.
And this week, we're talking about... Will you be my mommy? Are you my mommy? I screwed it up. Are you making a Doctor Who reference?
I mean, a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Aren't we all?
Okay.
At all times making a slight Doctor Who reference?
In some facet of my life, that's not true. I don't know. But apologies to everyone. I have my fan on. Just consider it like white noise or something. Anyway, director Stephen Sommers. Producer Kevin Jar. Screenwriters, got a few. I do think
this is one of our longest lists of screenwriters here.
Yeah, and I'll double check it, but we got Nina Wilcox Putnam, Richard Shayer, John Balderston, Stephen Sommers, Lloyd Fonville, God, these names, Kevin Jar, and then I think Stephen Sommers was probably who wrote the story. He's in there twice. Starring Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz, John Hannah, Arnold Vosloo, Kevin J. O'Connor, Jonathan Hyde, our old friend, Oded Fehr, and Erick Avari. I hope I said those right. I apologize. Studio, Universal Pictures. Rated PG-13, an action-adventure fantasy. Release date, May 7th, 1999. So the good old summer of 1999. Before Y2K.
Yeah.
We were so naive then.
This was when people were still like slightly afraid of it, but not fully afraid of it because it was still 7 months away.
This is a side tangent. What did you do during 9/11? Or not?
Whoa. Whoa. I wasn't expecting that.
Sorry,
I was at school and I was very...
No, not that. Sorry,
unsure.
Y2K. Y2K, what were you doing during Y2K?
I don't remember.
I do. I do remember, and the only reason I remember is because my birthday is New Year's Eve.
That's right.
And so, for Y2K to bring in the new year and to protect ourselves from the coming apocalypse, my mom took me to Video Depot, and we rented, I think, it was a Mario game. And I played that until midnight. And Nice. It wasn't until like 10 p.m. that someone was like, it's been Y2K, like it's been New Year's for like 16 hours now across the world and no one's had any issues. So I think we're fine. And I was like, oh, I guess I'll go back to my game. That's fine.
Cool. Anyway, Mario.
Anyway, sorry for that. Jeez. I apparently had a stroke there. I don't know what just happened.
Do you remember Y2K? Where were you during 9/11?
Alrighty.
Oh, man.
Had a budget around $80 million. All things considered, not the biggest budget. It's getting up there, but considering how much CGI... and even the practical effects, the scenery, the locale, like everything about it, 80 mil. Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad.
You know, it's back in the day when we were able to make movies for a lot less than we can nowadays.
Well, and it's funny because... it's not funny. It's actually terrible. But back then, I think there would have been more... Never mind. I don't even want to say that because I'm going to get myself I feel like I'm going to hate myself for saying it. So we're going to move on. This is about the CGI market right now and how terrible it is and how it used to be better, but really, like, maybe it wasn't that much better, but it was different.
Right.
Gross U.S. and Canada made $157 million, which is great, and worldwide past $400 million. So an absolute financial success.
Yep.
We always, you know, the great traditions that is this podcast, like to look at some of the stuff the director has done beforehand.
Yeah.
And The Mummy was the first big... No, that's not true. This director, Stephen Sommers, did the 1994 Jungle Book.
Yes.
That starred... Jason Scott Lee, who he played Bruce Lee in the Bruce Lee movie, but so he played Bruce Lee in the Bruce Lee movie, and so there was a lot of buzz around that movie, but I don't actually think that movie turned out that great. But before that, he also did like a Huck Finn movie and some other random stuff. So this Mummy movie was kind of his big, not big start, but yeah, kind of big start, because it was 4 years prior with the Jungle Book. Then he did The Mummy Returns. He did Van Helsing.
Mm-hmm.
One of my guilty pleasures. That movie is terrible, but I love it. I love it so much. And then he went on to do G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra. God bless him. And Odd Thomas, which, kind of a sleeper. Kind of a weird, fun movie.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
It's odd. And it's Thomas.
Thomas.
Yeah, there we go. So, not really like a huge director. Mm-mm. Honestly, not even. He's got 15 movies that he's produced, all of which were the movies he was doing. And the upcoming Scorpion King Book of Souls.
Ooh.
Oh, never mind. Not upcoming. Never mind. That came out in 2018. I think he's run his course.
Yeah. I was looking up the screenwriters because there's the long list, but
yeah,
Wilcox, Putnam, Richard Scher, and John L. Balderston, those were the writers of the original Mummy that this was adapted from.
Okay. That's what I thought. Because I saw all those names and I was like, I bet you these are, character or original plot credits.
Which Nina Wilcox Putnam may have been... Was it a book?
It was a book.
Yeah,
she probably wrote the book.
Was the author of the book. The other two guys were the writers for the first movie adaptation.
Yeah. Old people, Sorry. That was... I'm having a weird night. Alrighty. So... Now we transition to a segment called What's the Plot? Where Tristan and I give you, the audience, our own interpretation of the plot. Tristan, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I can go first.
All right, Tristan. Why don't you go first?
I'll go first. Where were you during 9/11? All right. The Mummy is a story about love, loss, rebirth, and the greed of the Western white man and their never-ending quest to get that shiny treasure, even if it means a couple of no-name laborers get their faces melted off with pressurized salt acid. Meet Imhotep, the head priest of the pharaoh. He's a man who would do anything for love, and unlike Meatloaf, he would do that. That being killing the pharaoh so that he can be with Princess Anaxunamun, who was either the pharaoh's daughter, betrothed, concubine, maybe all three. Things were kind of weird back then. The two lovers, captured by the pharaoh, kill him. However, the pharaoh's guards burst into the door, find the pharaoh dead, and Imhotep, in a romantic gesture, turns to Anaxunamun and declares that he will return for her, promising that even death would not be the end of their love. Inevitably, Imhotep is captured and sentenced to the worst punishment, being buried alive with a curse placed on him, a curse that would allow him to come back to life, be invincible, and continue to pursue his love for Anaxunamun.
Really shortchanged on that one.
3,000 years later, we meet Evelyn Carnahan. Evelyn isn't like other girls. She reads books, she's clumsy, and underappreciated. She also knows ancient Egyptian. She's a librarian. And if you squint, tilt your head, steal the eyes of a man who with horrible vision, she kind of maybe looks just like Anaxunamun. Evie stumbles across the map to the mythical hidden city of Hamunaptra, the burial place of Imhotep. With the help of Rick O'Connell and her brother Jonathan, she brings Imhotep back to life so that he can pursue his lady love again. But being dead for 3,000 years can leave you with some bad bed hair and morning breath. So, it's time for a makeover. With the help of some friends and hijinks, Imhotep gets his glow up. With his new look and fancy new abilities, there's only one thing left to do: get the girl. But not if the Magi can help it. Imhotep seeks Evie's help to get Anak back, but the Magi know that he's just using her to make Anak jealous. So the Magi team up with Rick and Jonathan to devise a plan to save Evie and stop Imhotep's plans. In the end, the gang is able to stop Imhotep and teach him that love is more than just having ultimate power, and that maybe there are some things you shouldn't do for love, like releasing plagues on the world.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Oh, man. That's great. I love that. That caught me. A couple of those caught me off guard. You spelled out, they don't look anything like they were said in the movie, right? The names, when you spell them out.
Yeah,
because
like kind of, but yeah,
Imhotep, Anaxunamun.
Yeah,
like
Sunamun. I didn't pronounce those right either.
Watching it, I was like, "Oh, okay." And then when I saw it spelled, I was like, "Huh?
Yeah.
What? Okay. All right."
What do you got?
This is Foley work. I'm rubbing my hands together.
Oh, nice.
Like a fly. Now like a fly. Okay. This only works on video. All right. Excuse if I get weird with my voices. In a tale as old as time, we meet Imhotep, a mild-mannered priest or something to the Pharaoh. Pharaoh. Will Ferrell is in this. Imhotep is doing everything right until he sparks a relationship with the Pharaoh's hands-off wife, concubine, Anaxunamun. After getting caught in a secret meeting, Imhotep and Anaxunamun decide to spice things up with a little murder. Everything goes down pyramid. Get it? Instead of downhill. I'll see my way out. From there, as Anaxunamun is captured and killed, and shortly after, Imhotep is captured as well. But Loverboy isn't getting killed yet. Oh no, he's too good looking for that. He gets buried alive with flesh-eating bugs. Hot, right? Fast forward 3,000 years and we meet Evie Carnahan. Did you know her last name was Carnahan? Because I sure didn't. Evie is a mild-mannered librarian ready to spice things up. Well, not really. She plays a very clumsy smart girl with some real thin eyebrows. Upon her crook of a brother, Jonathan, stealing an artifact from someone at a bar, she finds her new adventure, finding the City of the Dead. After rescuing the bar guy from a death sentence, Evie starts her adventure with her brother and bar guy. Oh, did I mention that bar guy is 90s heartthrob Brendan Fraser? Pronounced Razor with an F in front. He plays hot shot Rick O'Connell. I'll get it right one day. Who is like a pirate or something? It's not really clear. Honestly, there's no clear good side or bad side. If anything, Evie and her gang of crooks are the bad guys because they're going into a colonized land and trying to loot. But I digress. The Scooby Gang makes their way to the dead place, beating their rivals. You know, more Americans who are just like racist. And we can't forget Benny, an ethnically ambiguous character who I found out is supposed to be Hungarian, thanks to the captions on my film. The two teams of looters. That's not right. I put an S somewhere there. The two teams of looters race to find the treasure, constantly getting local men killed like it's no big deal. Evie reads the Book of the Dead and is shocked to find out that she has brought back a super mummy from the dead. That mummy is our hero Imhotep, who believes Evie would be a perfect sacrifice for his boothing on Oxydamoon. After stealing body parts and apparently superpowers from the Americans, Teppy, as I like to call him, sets his eyes on Evie and Rick. Teppy sets his eyes on Evie, and Rick sets his eyes on kicking ass. Everyone races back to the dead zone, and Rick somehow manages to hold off literally super zombies while Jonathan reads incantations to get control of the zombies, and Evie swoops in and turns Imhotep normal again. The dead things are dead, and Rick and Evie kiss. Oh yeah, Benny dies a horrible death. The end. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
I have to tell you, it's uncanny how close a version of mine was to what you to yours. I think we think too similarly, so I'm glad that I pivoted. Otherwise, we would have just said the same thing.
Maybe, yeah. But I think it was one of those things where, like, it was a really fun movie, but there are some really poignant things that stand out a lot more now, and I think we both are just aware. Yeah. I think we're just aware of it.
Yeah. There was a few things that you said. It's like, oh, I had that written at some point, and then I pivoted to a different perspective. Also, while we're on this topic, did you read the IMDb, little
no
thing at the top of it?
Because by all means, go for it.
It's probably the worst one.
Really?
It doesn't accurately tell you what this movie's actually about.
And if you're a first-time listener, for whatever reason you're starting on this one, good for you. Welcome. We love you.
Welcome.
Don't leave, please. We need you. That's a little too abrasive. Sorry. But
stay if you want.
Yeah, stay if you want. The reason we do the What's the Plot is because the first season, and for a lot of it, I would just read whatever plot was on IMDb or whatever the studio wrote for the movie, and they were all pretty rough. They weren't great. And so we thought, hey, might as well make it a joke, might as well make it fun. Let's hear what we skipped out on.
So this is when you go to the Mummy page on IMDb. This is the first thing that you see. At an archaeological dig in an ancient city of Hamunaptra, an American serving in the French Foreign Legion accidentally awakens a mummy who begins to wreak havoc as he searches for the reincarnation of his long-lost love. That was almost this movie. I felt like that's probably what the original script was. And then they pivoted. But, like, yes, he was an American serving with the French Foreign Legion, but he didn't awaken the mummy. And the mummy isn't looking for the reincarnation of his long-lost love. He's looking to reincarnate his long-lost love. It's kind of ridiculous how, like, not this movie... This line, this sentence is.
Just to put it to rest, the original Boris Karloff version, a resurrected Egyptian mummy searches Cairo for the girl he believes to be his long-lost love. Or long-lost princess. So, definitely different.
Mm-hmm.
So it isn't just like a cookie cutter from the original, but... They were French? The people he was working for were French?
Yeah, I think I remember him yelling in French.
I just remember him yelling in one-liners. I don't remember French.
It's all he does was one-liners.
Seriously, a little too much. I love Brendan. Little too much on the one-liners.
There was one thing that he said where it's like, they didn't need that. Like, he just says, I don't remember what it was, but he's like, you're telling me. And I was like,
oh, yeah.
you don't need to.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The worst one for me was when he's, when the zombies or the boil and pox zombies are taking the people and they're driving away and he's like, you're gonna get yours, Benny. Yeah. You're gonna get yours. It's like, that I don't think that was as cool as you thought it was.
No.
Really took you out of the moment.
No, but I did think a little bit about Billy Madison in that moment where he's
yeah,
you're gonna get yours, but I gotta study.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Or it's coming to you.
Alrighty. So, what did you think of the movie overall?
Okay. So, last week we talked about, last time we talked about Billy Madison and how it did not do a good job of creating a world that could, like, you could fully get into and suspend your disbelief. I think this movie did a good job at it.
Yeah.
Like, it is a movie that you can sit down and you can believe in the world that they create. And it's enjoyable. It's a movie that I remember as a kid, it was scary. And then when I got older, it was less scary. And then watching it again, I was like, okay, this, like, it is kind of scary, but I'm desensitized to it. But like, they do a good job with, like, the suspense and the spookiness of it. It's not quite a horror, but it is. I think it's a fun romp through a mummy story. I think there's some things about this, like the plot and like the things that set up different things. It's like that doesn't quite make sense. But yeah, overall thoughts. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
How about you?
I enjoyed it, except for the parts where I didn't. You know, like it was. That seems like such a dumb answer, but it's fun. The last 30 minutes are just action packed. Like it is just go, 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 go. So it's really hard to kind of, like you said, your suspension of disbelief is held pretty well, especially at the end, because it's like, before you get a chance to really examine something new is happening. Something pivotal to the plot.
Right.
It does have that kind of video game plot logic where, you know, you defeat a boss and then you go through a door and then there's another boss and then you go through a door and then there's another boss. There's a lot of that's happening at the end that, you know, whether that's good for movies or not, it's entertaining, it works, it's fun. You know, they nailed the 1925 racism, like nailed it.
Yep.
Which you know, I struggle with the idea because, you know, in reality, people of that time would probably act exactly that way.
Mm-hmm.
Do we give it a pass? No, but I don't know. I don't know. It's a weird line. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't like it, but I also don't know.
Yeah.
There's aspects I enjoyed. Brendan Fraser was great. A lot of the weird side characters were really fun, and they worked. Rachel Weisz nailed her part.
Mm-hmm.
Do I agree with her character all the time? No, but she did it really well. So,
Yep.
yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
You got to ignore some things, but it's fun overall. What did you like best about the movie?
What did I like best? I think, okay, so this movie, there was no moment for me that really stood out of this is a great moment. It kind of was. But I think if I were to pick something out that I found interesting and enjoyable from it, is it didn't do it perfectly, but it did it in a way that was okay, this is something. Is Evie's character, Rachel Weisz's character, is while she is in some ways the damsel in distress, she also has a lot of growth. She probably is the character that grows. If we were to pick one character to be the protagonist, it's her.
Yeah.
And she's the character that we see her at the beginning. She is this underappreciated librarian who basically is told the only reason why you're here is because your parents have money.
Yeah.
But she is educated. She is she knows a lot about ancient Egyptian history and the language and all of that, and so she's very capable.
Right.
And so as the journey goes, we see her taking responsibility for the things that have happened. She lets the mummy out, and she's the one that's hey, I made a mistake, I'm going to fix it.
Right.
And then even the moment that puts her in the damsel in distress situation is her saying, hey, I am going to sacrifice myself because I know it's going to buy time and you guys are going to come save me. So it was rather empowering for her female character to be doing this in a world where we get lines where she's oh, just ignore her, she's just a woman. But
right.
I thought that was actually a pretty cool thing, but I don't think they stuck the landing.
Mm-hmm.
They make it seem like Brendan Fraser, his character is the main character, but he's not. It's her character is the main character.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I like her arc as a Yeah, I think that's my favorite thing is her being,
she
growing and learning and becoming a better person for it.
Yeah. I agree. Her arc is probably the most important arc.
Mm-hmm.
Her character begins to lack when Rick has to be extra heroic.
Right.
You know, that's when she becomes that damsel. But before all of that, well, not before all of that, but like you said, that moment where she gives herself up for the sake of buying time, she has developed the plan. She's the one working to solve the problem, and everyone else just needs to kind of catch up.
Yeah.
Excuse me, hold on. All right.
Ooh,
and this is going to be a theme throughout this podcast. Yeah, I like that. I kind of like the relationship between her and Jonathan, even though Jonathan's a crook and kind of an idiot. They did a good job of showing that they love each other and that they understand, since their parents are gone, they're kind of the only ones who are around for each other.
Right.
So there's something nice there.
Mm-hmm. There's also an interesting thing about Rick O'Connell, where he's not really a great guy during the whole thing, but he has moments of showing, like, okay, he's not completely selfish.
Right.
Like the fact that he still wants to save Benny at the end.
Benny, yeah.
And Benny's been horrible this whole time.
Yeah.
He yells at him and says, "You're going to get yours." But he still wants to save him at the end.
Right.
So there's like little bit of like...
That's the thing. That's a writing issue.
Yeah.
Because he is arguably a good guy. He has just been put in so many situations where some of that humanity kind of gets torn apart from him, torn away from him, and Evie throughout the movie is reacquainting him with that was a weird sentence.
Yep.
Bringing back some of that humanity that he already had.
Right.
He was put in prison.
Yeah.
He was put in prison. He was sentenced to death. He was on a military journey where essentially everyone died. He was the lone survivor.
Except for him and Benny. Yeah.
Yeah. And Benny, who's supposed to be his sidekick or whatever, runs away in the biggest moment. So everything we've seen so far is he's a brave guy. It seems as though, for the most part, he does have somewhere in him some honor. He's just at his lowest point. But even at his lowest point, he's still pretty charming.
Yeah.
So you kind of don't hate him, even though you're seeing him at his lowest point.
Right.
And then he's starting to build up and become that person he probably was before all this mess started. That's what it felt like to me, is we're just kind of rebuilding what was of Rick O'Connell. And it takes Evie, it takes a curse of a mummy.
Right.
Yeah. Kind of wild stuff. It has plot holes for the second one built into it, kind of thing,
Yep.
Anyway, yeah. I think that's like Rick. I enjoyed Rick because Brendan Fraser just is great. He's awesome. I like Evie. I didn't hate Jonathan. I think in some ways you're supposed to. I love Benny. Like, he is a great bad guy. Like,
yeah.
he's a real piece of crap, and just says the right things, is the right amount of confident while also being very bad at what he does. Yeah, great. Benny's great. And then the British pilot. I don't agree with all the things he did for the Crown, because he probably did some terrible things, but he was funny.
Yeah.
All right.
I feel like we skipped to your favorite character question here.
I know, but those were the things I liked about the movie. What did you like least about the film?
The things that we like the least. There are, okay. Sorry, my brain just kind of did a spider web of thoughts.
You went to your favorite character too? What did you like least about the film? My favorite characters.
My favorite characters. I really don't like that this movie doesn't have an actual good guy, except for there is one person. Well, there's two people. There are two people that are actually good people in this movie. And that's Evie, like we've already talked about, and the most handsome man, the Magi. I don't remember. I don't know if he has a name. I mean, he does have a name.
He does.
I don't think they say it. He's so handsome.
He is
Oded.
Ardeth.
Oded.
Ardeth Bay.
Ardeth Bay. Wait, yeah. That guy, first of all, so handsome.
Yeah. He's a good-looking man. He was, speaking of my Rob Schneider references from the South Park show, I don't like Rob Schneider, but reference, he played the Gigolo in Deuce Bigalow, Male Gigolo.
Oh, did he? I never saw that, but okay.
That's okay. You didn't miss much.
Yeah, I didn't feel like
it's bad. But
anyway.
Yeah, he's a handsome guy, and he plays handsome.
He plays handsome, and he's a good guy. Like, their job.
Arguably, the Magi's are the good guys.
They're presented at the beginning to be antagonists.
Right.
Like, they're attacking them. They're stopping them from doing their thing. And from the perspective of the writing, that's telling us that Evie and Rick and Jonathan are the good guys. These people are coming in and killing them, so they are bad guys. But the reality is, they are protecting the world.
Right.
And so they're just doing their job. So that guy, but like everybody else isn't, there's nobody really that's actually a good guy in this movie. And the movie does a good job of making you think that there's a good guy, but you have Rick, who the only reason why he takes them there in the first place is because they save his life, so he feels like he at least owes them that. But then when everything starts going south, he just wants to leave. He just wants to pack up and go home. There's a whole scene that's very reminiscent of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, where they're arguing and just saying, fine, 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 and then shutting the door. And like that whole thing, like he just wants to leave, and the only time that he like puts on his big boy pants to do something good is to save Evie.
Right.
And even that is to save Evie, not to save the world.
Right.
Jonathan just wants treasure.
Yeah.
he just wants to a get rich quick scheme. There's all the Americans who are probably the most antagonistic characters. Like, they are the villains, really.
Well, and it's funny because they're just the hyper version of O'Connell, Jonathan, and Evie. Like, they're the jock version of, you know, they're the same thing. It's the same side of, it's different side of the same coin.
Yeah.
Like, that's the hard part about Rick, because we're supposed to like Rick. We do like Rick. He's fun. He's a great character. But, you know, in the beginning, in that battle, he's working for the French, apparently, and they're in a battle, I assume, with the locals.
Yeah.
So they are coming into a place they don't belong to colonize, essentially. So, you know, 40, 50 years ago, well, I guess even 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, holy cow, it's 25 years old.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, we planned this. This is the 25th anniversary edition of The Mummy. It was that almost looked like an honorable pursuit. But I think in the world we're looking at now, we could look at it and go, yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
Whatever the turmoil is in the local area, that isn't an okay for an outside country to come in and do whatever. And we're left in a weird position where Rick is part of that team. Now, I was trying to figure it out, like, is he Is he a soldier? Is he a mercenary? Is he just like a really cool camper who can shoot real good and can read maps? Like, I don't understand what he is, and the fact that there is no conclusive evidence of that, I didn't like.
Yeah. He's just the American.
Yeah. Which, then having other Americans come in and be, you know, I guess more ruthless or whatever, kind of turns your attention away from Rick in that way. But in reality, they're not doing anything different than he was essentially doing, as far as we can tell within the story. You know? So, yeah, I didn't like that. That sucked.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, part of what influenced the reason why I did my plot in kind of envisioning that Imhotep is the as like the protagonist almost, is because, like, yes, he kind of, like, he was potentially having an affair with the princess, but we can also look at it from the side of, like, the pharaoh was probably like a really bad guy, and they just wanted to love each other.
We have no reason to think that Imhotep is evil.
Yeah, and the only reason why he
is what makes him evil. This curse is put on him, and then that's what makes him evil. But then, like, he's only pursuing. The question that I had was, if he was successfully able to bring Anck-su-namun back to life, what would he have done? Would he have continued to be evil, or would they have just gone and, like, lived life? There's probably, like, because he has this power, he would then want to, like, bring back, like, they were trying to infer it that I think he, you know, he didn't understand what time he was in.
Right.
So he didn't understand that the pharaohship, the monarchy of that, was gone. And so he felt he was taking his place in that role. Yeah. And so for, I guess, the modern day of 1925, that's a bad thing.
Right.
And thus making him the bad guy. But I don't know, like, the affair, maybe it's a cultural thing. Like, I don't know. Like you said, maybe the pharaoh sucked. Like, maybe he was bad.
Yeah. And it's very unclear, at least in this movie. They might explain it in the flashbacks in the next movie, a little bit more of the relationship between the princess. No.
That time is spent for the Rock.
Oh, that's right.
The Rock is in it.
The Rock. That's right.
He's the important bad guy.
But they make it unclear of, like, what their relationship actually is.
Right.
Because, like, she's the princess, he's the pharaoh. Do they call the wife of the pharaoh a princess? I don't know. Anyway, that's all confusing. The other part that I find, like, poking some holes into about this movie is the curse. I mean, I guess there's a sense of, like, oh, we're going to put a curse on you, but, like, why?
I didn't like that accent.
I didn't like it either, and I didn't do it on purpose. It just happened, and I apologize profusely.
Okay, moving on.
Why give the guy a curse? I mean, I guess they're punishing the world for bringing him back.
But even the caveat of, if he's resurrected, he will be invincible. That's a bad curse.
Yeah, or
that's not a
whatever.
Yeah, that's not a curse.
You're cursing the world, not him.
That's a challenge. Like, watch me come back, and I'm going to make sure everyone's life sucks.
Yeah, this movie very easily could have been that some of his, like, the priests that followed him, like, one
Yes.
of them survived and then created this
Yes.
whole cult that was like, we shall bring Imhotep back. And,
Right.
like, that whole thing. And that easily could have been the movie and the
Right.
story, and provided actually probably a better context of, like, why there are people trying to stop him and why all of this
absolutely.
is happening.
If it would have made so from the beginning of the film, we needed to know not only is he trying to have an affair with the Pharaoh's princess or whatever her role is. We are not ignoring it, by the way. It just isn't clear.
It's happening, but we don't know what it is.
Yeah. Outside of that relationship, he needed to be sparking some type of mutiny.
Yeah.
If he was trying to take over Pharaoh's role, then you have a lot of room to wiggle a story in there.
Mm-hmm.
But missing that motivation to, like, why he killed the Pharaoh. Like, we know why. It was because they were going to be sentenced to death.
Right.
But he let her die anyway, so...
Because he already had a plan to bring her back to life.
Right. So he just I don't know, his plan kind of sucked, too.
Yeah.
Anyway. But, yeah, that missing, so that... I like the idea of, like, his priests, because his priests were kind of like his henchmen, but if you made them, you know, zealots,
Yeah.
then it suddenly makes a lot more sense
Yeah.
why they would do that. And maybe the zealots were the ones who found his body and were cursing the people with his body,
Yeah.
rather than... the curse was placed upon Imhotep as, like, a punishment. That really doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
If the curse's outcome is, if he comes back, he gets special powers and bitty bitty bum bum, all done. Like, it doesn't track. I agree. There is a lot... Continuity's not the right, but mythology things that don't make sense throughout
Yes.
the movie. So they make a point of showing an Oxymoon, her body with her different body parts in the jars, and then they make a point of Jonathan having or being explained what mummification is, where Evie explains that they take your body parts out and they put it in the jars and different things. And then, that's really important. They do that twice. There's two reasons why they do that. Because when the Book of the Dead is found, the jars are under it. And then, the guys take the jars and he takes from the Americans what is in the jars. But, and I say but, with a big but, I like big, but anyway, he was buried alive. They didn't do any of that.
Mm-hmm.
Those jars are empty.
Mm-hmm.
So what is happening? How is the curse? There is no connective tissue between the curse and those jars. You could say, well, those jars represent those body parts. But
but those were the jars for the ritual to bring her back, right?
No, I think those were his.
Because he has those placed around her,
right? But those
so
were I think those are the standard jars for anyone's mummification.
I think those jars were meant to be her jars. And that's what the importance
then the
of
curse
gathering
makes
them
no
back.
sense even
But
more.
then, it makes even less sense because he's taking those things back for himself.
But you did say something very interesting
of his.
In your plot. Can you go back to your plot
Okay.
and read the line about Evie looking like an ox on a moon.
Oh, yes. And if you squint, tilt your head, and steal the eyes of a man with horrible vision, she kind of maybe looks just like an Oxuna Moon.
It wasn't until that joke that I really thought, is that why he thinks Evie looks like an Oxuna Moon?
It has to be, right?
Because he can't see right. We're assuming that because they look nothing alike.
Yeah.
There
Like,
ends
her
up being
hair
like
is curly
some
and
retcon.
wavy.
There's retcon in the second movie,
Yeah.
but no, she looks nothing like. Why?
Yeah.
Unless you stop and go, he has really bad vision.
He has really bad vision, and it was dark. That's all you can explain. But even if it was really bad vision, the shape of like her hair,
Right, it doesn't line
compared
up
to
at
just
all.
straight flat hair, it doesn't line up. But yeah, that's got to be the explanation of
Right?
the eyes don't work.
That was such a good. Like when you said that, I was like, "Is he blind? That's why he's so mad." But how does he see the cat? I feel like the cat would just be really blurry.
Maybe the eyes like regenerate or something as he absorbs
On the second bottle. You know what? My eyes regenerate after a second bottle. If you get my drift, I don't even get my drift. Some of the things I liked least. The CGI did not age well.
Nope. We give The Rock a hard time.
No, yeah, the CGI
Mummy
in the
Returns,
first movie's rough too.
but it's rough.
Oof. You know what? I noticed something. The practical effects were actually really good, except when they try to create continuity between the CGI and the practical effects.
Right. The practical mummy versus the CG mummy look nothing alike.
Right. When you try to get the continuity, it's bad. Like, it's not good at all. The priests, the practical effect priests, zombie priests, look excellent.
Yeah.
They look so good. They look kind of scary. You know, they're really good. But then when they try to splice it in with the CGI, it looks so bad. Because the CGI can attempt to create that supernatural, I guess, strength or whatever of a more bony, brittle body doing something super. Right. Where the practical, it's a suit. So, like, it's going to have some thickness to it.
Yeah.
But they didn't translate over. The CGI zombies were always too small. You had you had the scene where they're fighting and one of them is taking the big stone tablet thing, and while he's walking, it's practical and it looks really good, like it looks like a zombie, but then when they actually show the face, it's CGI and it looks like it shrunk, like it looks like a different zombie. And then once he cuts the legs off and the tablet falls, spoilers, the tablet falls on the zombie, it's back to practical, and it's a good joke, and it looks great. And there were honestly a couple practical effects that I don't know how they did it. Maybe they used CGI, and that CGI looked really good, but there were a couple practical effects with partial-bodied zombies, where if you were really looking at the scene, the zombie was moving a lot, so it kind of, your initial thought of like, well, maybe most of the body is under the ground, but then he would move and you're like, but how is it under the ground if the ground is solid? Where's the rest of the body? Is it CGI? Like Forrest Gump did a good job with Lieutenant Dan of the CGI. Like, it looked really good. they may have done something similar. But then it was like, well, if you did that CGI really well, why didn't you do some of the other CGI kind of to line up?
Right.
It'd be interesting to look up if they had,
If I were to
like,
guess,
if it was all in-house, or if some of it was separate studios, different things like that. Because some of it just looks so different.
right. Like, even I think there's 2 times that we see the CG mummy, and it's at the very beginning. So what, like, they open the sarcophagus and he like springs out a little bit, and that's practical.
Yeah.
And then they cut away, and then it comes back when it like comes to life, and it's the CG version, and those look totally different. And then when he's melting into the water of souls or whatever, the pool of souls, like the CG face there looks more like the practical face at the beginning, than the CG one did. And so it's like there was 2 different CG versions of the mummy that looked totally different.
It felt like there were no, so, you know, with some studios, whatever it might be, like, I even think of classic animation where they have character models and then rules for the characters.
Right.
You know, like, this character, their eyes can never be this much more proportionally opened than the rest of their head, whatever it might be. It felt like they had no rules for the mummy. Because sometimes the mummy would, like, scream and its mouth would open, you know, a normal amount. Because I always made a comment about this movie where the CGI mummy's mouth opens obnoxiously too large. But then the actor who plays Imhotep, he has a pretty open mouth too, like non-CGI. So maybe there's some connection there. But there was no consistency of what the face did. It was always different.
Yeah.
And it made it hard to follow. Yeah. Some of the CGI that was shocking that it was bad was like a lot of the backgrounds.
Oh yeah.
You know, it took me out of the movie because there was a lot of moments where there was CGI where it was like, you didn't need to do that, because they would do CGI sometimes just for transitions. And then they would transition into like a practical set or a practical build or something like that. So there was really no reason for as much CGI as they were using. So yeah, I could talk about the CGI all night. Like, I didn't like it. Even the bugs, too shiny.
Too shiny. They looked weird. Yeah. And I don't know if it's just because we are in a time where CG, like, it's easier to make better looking CG, or if it's because we're watching this movie from the 90s on high definition screens.
I was thinking the same thing. I
Like-
was thinking the exact same thing.
Like, I bet you this movie looks a lot better on VHS.
I was thinking the exact same thing, because one of the things I was really pondering was, what a word, pondering, how different would the CGI look? You know, back then, 99, that still would have been tube TVs for the most part, and tube TVs run a much different way than, you know, all of our screens are like LEDs, so each pixel essentially is its own identifiable light that is, you're just producing color through it, and it mixes it together, magic, bibbity bobbity boop. Back then, the refresh rate, it was doing it like a line, a horizontal line across the screen, really, really, really fast. And that's what it was kind of doing. And I wonder if the CGI just kind of, I don't know, hides better.
It wasn't as sharp of edges. So
I did see, like, the reason that's a really good point is because I saw a little documentary explainer about video games, like old Nintendo video games, where they talked about how on our phones and on our computers, when we use ROMs and we use different things, it just doesn't look the same. And it's because when they were designing the games with the refresh rate in mind, meaning they would cheat on detail. They wouldn't put all the detail in. They would cheat because the refresh rate would fill in those extra spaces. And now that we're in a situation where we can fill in everything, there's something missing. There's a little bit of a nuance missing from that. And I'm wondering if we were to look at this from a, tube TV on a VHS, would it hide it? Would the colors look different? Would it look better?
Probably.
It wouldn't look as sharp. It wouldn't look as sharp, but also, like, film movies with the HD and everything, like, things look clear, but they also look grainy. Like, you could really see the grain of the film.
Yeah.
With the other stuff, it kind of gets hidden. You don't see that grain as much. So I wonder if it would take you out of it a little bit to...
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, we even experienced that for modern movies. I know we're getting a little off track here, but the modern movies of when you watch them in the theater... so, for example, Avengers Infinity War. When you watch that movie in the theater, you're like, wow, this is amazing. These CG characters interacting with these real characters. It looks great. When you watch it at home, Thanos looks so out of place all the time.
Absolutely.
But at the theater, he looked amazing. And it's because, like, the screen, the projector, the movie was made to be shown in that situation, and it wasn't made to be shown on your TV at home. And so, unless you have a really fancy setup at home, the CG's never going to look as good as it did on the theater or in the theater. And I think it's the same thing. Like, these things that we're seeing where, like, the home release version of The Mummy was made for a different type of TV, a different type of, like, screen definition.
Right. Okay.
What are we looking at here?
This is a VHS preview for The Mummy Returns, but I think watching it a little bit, I think it kind of proves the point a bit. Because if you look at the CGI, it feels more believable. Because you're missing just enough of it. Like, you can tell it's CGI, but I think it does. The VHS actually does translate it a lot better.
Yeah.
That last shot was bad, but that was that was the promo shot. Yeah. So everyone, I just showed Tristan the what I just explained, and it was a pulling from a VHS. So you could really see the grain. It was a lot less clear. Like, I would be annoyed watching it now. Like, if that was the quality I was looking at.
Right.
Anyway, enough on the CGI. Things I like least. Yeah, they really didn't give a crap about them Arab people. Like, they just did not care.
Yeah.
If you were brown, you were expendable. Whether it's the zombie versions or so in this movie, I keep saying zombie, but there are two key groups that respond like zombies. One are the living dead priests who are like skeleton and stuff like that, but
they're technically more of a mummy than
Mummy.
Imhotep
They're
is.
mummies. Yeah.
Because they got mummified.
Yeah, they're mummies. They're mummies. That's a good point.
But yeah.
So there's the mummies, and then the people who are cursed by Imhotep and are under his control, who, like, maybe they're not... They killed a lot of innocent people.
Yeah.
Just... It's one of those things that, like, everyone, like, looks back... Like, I imagine on their camel ride back to Cairo, Jonathan just, like, turns to Rick. It's just like... We killed a whole lot of people. And Rick's just like, sometimes you just gotta not think about it.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're not there. Like, they get back to the city and there's just like run over bodies because they ran over a bunch of people.
Yeah.
I just that felt like a cop out. It felt like they just couldn't think of a good way to create villains. Like you said, there are no villains. They made the good guys expendable. They made innocent people expendable. It didn't work for me. Like that it was cheap. It was cheap.
Yeah. Yeah, especially those people that were basically brainwashed.
Right.
They those were just people.
Yeah. One stunt guy totally got run over. Like
Yeah.
you could see it. He's I felt so bad. I'm like, I want to look up that stunt guy and see if he's okay. But he's on the hood of the car. Someone pushes him off and he goes under the tire.
Yeah.
And I'm like, his hip is broken, man. That's that poor stuntman.
That was rough.
Yeah. Plot holes, could do without them, but what movie doesn't have them? And what else? I think that's all.
Yeah.
CGI sucked. The some of the motivations for the characters sucked. The lack of a clear good guy or bad guy, because you kind of feel for Imhotep. Like,
yeah,
is what he's doing good? No. Do I necessarily disagree with the fact that, like, he wants to come back and, reincarnate his lover and, I guess, even seek revenge? Like, I don't know, 3,000 years? It's a long time.
Yeah.
He's holding a death grudge. And we assume he's, like, tormented in hell based off that last little bit where the death trolley takes him away.
Yeah.
Which new thought. He's 3,000 years old.
Uh-huh.
Probably didn't have that kind of wagon chariot thing back then. So does death also upgrade its equipment?
I mean, they had chariots.
But a wagon like that, it was like an 1880s
too modern of a chariot.
That's the kind of wagon you would see in the Wild West of, like, a rich person.
I feel like the spirit of death is allowed to upgrade every few centuries.
You know what? Right now, the spirit of death was really stoked for the tone deaf iPad commercial that just came out. It was like, I'm going to get that iPad. That's going to make my life a lot easier. It's apparently pissing off a lot of people, but I'm going to really like it. And Death got an iPad.
Yeah.
I was going to make a joke that I was going to regret. So, who is your favorite character or characters?
I mean, I guess we talked. I mean, you definitely talked about it. You
almost sounded like you were mad at me for that.
I am a little.
We talked about it, but you definitely talked about it.
I didn't talk about this. I like. I mean, I know I said it before, I do like the Magi guy because he's just doing his thing. And
I thought they did him dirty on the plane because he's supposed to be this like stoic, tough guy who's like knows the history and is like, I guess you can consider him like a zealot too for his portion of it. And then he gets on the plane and he's like,
yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Like, he just looks like a doofus on the plane. I'm like, man, you guys did him dirty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He should have really had like a he was just fine. He was just like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm tough.
Yeah. The pilot was a fun character. Problematic, but you know,
nothing like a good drunk.
5 seconds. Yeah.
Nothing like a good drunk to.
Yeah, a good drunk British guy who really just wants to die, you know?
Yeah, man, that one. I never got that until I watched it this time. Yeah. That I was like, oh, no, he wants to die. Oh, okay. He was the only one who won, really, in the end.
He got
exactly what he wanted with
exactly what he wanted. He got to do something that was adventurous and go out
exactly how he wanted
to. Of glory, yeah.
For the Queen, man.
Yeah, you know what's funny? You mentioned it before of like liking Benny, and I remember before I sat down and watched the movie, I was like, for some reason, Benny was a character that stuck out in my mind of like, oh yeah, like this guy, it's Benny. And then watching it again, be like, he's just a really scummy dude. But like, he does such a good job of it.
He's really good at his job.
I don't like him, but I like him. Like, there's something about it.
Yeah. He's a hard one to hate, but also you clearly hate him.
Yeah.
You know, I have no comparison. There's no other character I know where I'm like, man, I freaking hate that. Like, this is a total far shot. But I mean, you know, you have Heath Ledger's Joker, because everyone likes Heath Ledger's Joker. And I would argue we don't. No one actually likes him. You respect that he's a good bad guy.
Yeah.
You respect the fact that he's a good bad guy.
Yeah.
Benny is just like a scummy guy for scum's sake, and he's really good at it. But he also, like, his purpose is to make Rick look good, and he does that really, really, really well.
So good, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, O'Connell! Who's got all the horses? Hey, Benny, who's on the wrong side of the river? And then his reaction to it is just played so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's funny. He's great.
Yeah.
Not because of his motives or anything. The actor does a really good job.
Yeah. Sometimes a character can be your favorite because it was just done so well.
Yeah.
I love the moment, and I know this is getting a little bit into quote, but it's kind of a character moment of the first guy who gets that's not a good way to say it, Tristan. Who gets absorbed by
don't worry.
Imhotep.
One of the guys said it over the campfire where he said it, and I was like, everyone's ignoring the innuendo. No, I'm the only one.
Maybe it's I didn't catch it.
Yeah, one of them's like, we're just waiting for him to suck us all dry.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh god. No one else, like, it was just a cold read. Everyone took it just as it was supposed to be, and I was just like, man, we are awful. I'm awful. No, it's just me. I'm just thinking about myself. I am a terrible person. But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So that guy,
Mr. Burns,
he has his Velma.
Yeah.
My glasses. I can't see without my glasses.
And then Benny steps on him.
Yeah, that made me laugh because I just couldn't not think of
It was so
Scooby-Doo.
funny because I think he was supposed to be like that nerdy archaeologist, but they
He
didn't.
wasn't.
No. The tools.
Yeah,
that Rick,
he was. He was supposed to be.
but they didn't do anything to build that. It was like essentially they were like, all right, we got this guy. He's our nerd. He's good. And then rewrites came in, and it was like, he's just gonna kind of be there. Like he's not really gonna add anything, but he's gonna die. You know.
What if a jock wore glasses?
And bada bing, bada boom.
That's kind of what they did.
That is literally what they did.
But yeah, I think favorite quotes. I mean, Rick has so many one-liners, but I don't know if any of them are
good.
There's just so many of them. They're like, that one was better than the last one.
Yeah.
I appreciate Jonathan when they're on the boat and they're fighting the Magi, and the Americans are like all hunkered down, and Jonathan just walks up and he's like, Americans. And it's just like, that was a good moment.
Yeah. The relationship between Jonathan and Rick as it grows is really funny.
Yeah.
Where Jonathan is just clearly a crook out to get his treasure, and Rick is the smart one. Like, he's a tactical person. So when they're playing poker and Rick's like, how do you know that we're going to, you know,
oh yeah,
the place? And the other guys are like, oh, he told us. And then he like gently but very firmly grabs his shoulder and cracks something that doesn't exist in your shoulder. Like, there's a sound effect of, and you're like, I've had my shoulder rubbed.
I don't.
There's nothing there. Collarbone's a little lower. Yeah, it was just that whole relationship as it goes, and I feel like their back and forward is pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
I hate him because he's a terrible person, but the warden was a great bit of comedy.
Yep.
I don't know if it's insensitive or anything like that, but I love the actor. I love how he played. I loved how he did it, where, you know, they're betting money, 10%, 40%, 20%, 30%, and then 25% or whatever it is.
Oh yeah,
and then when he
funnied him so hard,
and when he realizes it, his face and his reaction, like him flustered, was just very funny. Like, he's a very good actor of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. The weird things about it is, like, I'm not an expert, so I don't know, but I'd want someone who is an actual expert in ancient Egyptian language and just be like, did Imhotep, like, speak it well? Is that how they would? Because they always sounded kind of odd. And then they were everyone else was probably speaking like Farsi or something.
Yeah.
Something. So I was just like, all of them sound normal. They sound very comfortable when they speak, but he sounds weird.
Yeah, well, also not a native speaker.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Another quote that I like is when the scarab gets into Jonathan's skin, and he's like, do something, and then he pulls out the knife. He's like,
switch
not
knife.
That.
Do something else. I like the when the warden, when they're trying to run. Oh, from the boat. It's in the boat. Okado, what are we gonna do? What are you gonna do? Rick, wait here. I'll go get help. And then he jumps over the boat.
Yeah. And then he's like,
right.
Oh.
Yeah, I like that. There are a lot of one-liners. Rick's one-liners aren't the best. Benny's lines felt good.
Mm-hmm.
or at least when someone was, responding to Benny. But yeah, I don't know. Rick's one-liners kind of sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking through them. I'm like, I don't know. Oh, once the plane crashes and Benny, just how he says it, just his tone, his delivery, where he's like, I love the whole sand wall trick. It was beautiful,
yeah.
bastard. Like, and then he's just like, good riddance, essentially. It's so good. I don't know. That Benny, it's great. What's his name? Kevin J. O'Connor.
Mm-hmm.
He was great. I really enjoyed him. And, speaking of bad CGI, our old Jumanji friend, Jonathan Hyde, is right back in it. Two movies with him where he plays a character that is unlikable.
Oh, yeah.
And
Hyde? Hyde?
Hyde.
I believe that's pronounced
You're right.
Hyde.
Yeah, Jonathan Hyde. Sexist in both movies, I would say, arguably. And, classic. Ha 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 ha! Injustice. So funny. Anyway, now it is time for the review rewind. We take a look at a positive review and a negative review, and we see where it falls. I gave you 2 positive reviews to read because the first one sucks, and then the second one I think was a little more well-rounded.
That's a little bit.
But I wanted to have the first one because it was the highest one I could find. The Mummy as a whole on IMDb, it has IMDb rating at 7.1. It has a meta score, which is not the same as Metacritic, I'm realizing. I was an idiot last time, is 48. So critically panned there. Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 62% from the tomato meter, an audience score of 75%. So it was I don't know how.
But did you say the Metascore and Metacritic were different? Because that is the same.
It's not the same.
It's provided by Metacritic.
It is?
Yeah.
Does it say that?
If you click on it, it says provided by Metacritic.
Okay.
Anyway.
Those are the same. How about that?
That's what I've said all along.
That's what I always said. User score 8.4 on Metacritic, 48 on Metacritic, as we've discovered. So, what does it mean? What does it mean when the tomato is like a solid tomato, but it doesn't have the yellow? Does that mean it's like okay?
So that means it's fresh, or like that means it's good, but it's not like
it's not a certified fresh.
Yeah.
Oh, the new Planet of the Apes is certified fresh. I don't know why. Anyway. So it's like okay. So 62% is considered like okay. It doesn't have the green splatter.
Yeah.
Which I assume is just like the top of the tomato. I never understood it.
No, it's like a rotten tomato. I assumed, like it's rotten because it's called Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know if you know this. This website's called Rotten Tomatoes, and they score on a tomato score, and like they have fresh tomatoes, and then they have gross rotten ones.
I'm not gonna get into people's business, but I do think they need a bit of a logo change on that rotten.
You know what? I will give it to you because you look at the word rotten, and the O is the circle with the splatter, which does look like it could be a tomato from a bird's eye view.
Right.
So
I think it's supposed to be a splatter. I don't know. This is such sorry everyone.
We're supposed to be
I'm not cutting
reviews,
this out.
I
am not cutting it.
The websites that exist.
Alrighty. This is Website Review Rewind, where we rewind a website that would be the most boring podcast because that is definitely a visual medium. Anywho, why don't you go ahead and read the 2 positive reviews?
All right, we've got a 100 from the San Francisco Chronicle. It says, digs up both laughs and chills from time-worn material.
Zing.
Yay. And then with an 88 from New York Post, we have cheerful, slightly cheesy entertainment that uses the latest special effects techniques to breathe life into a venerable film tradition.
That one felt more like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, that one's not too bad. Washington Post, 30. Oh, you got a kick out of the latest technology? Latest special effects? 30 from the Washington Post. Fast and Furious, shallow, empty, casually racist, merry, jaunty, silly, and utterly weightless.
Was this a review for Fast and Furious or this movie?
You know what? Ironically, Washington Post gave Fast and Furious a 100.
What?
No, they didn't. That movie. I think we've talked about it in this podcast. You and I have it. Krista loves the Fast and Furious movies. I
remember.
Loves them. But we both know the first one is awful. It is a time capsule of weird stereotypes and bad car culture that is, of my understanding, very dumb.
Yeah.
Anyway, so here's what I'm going to say about that one. I don't disagree.
Right.
I don't know if I would give it a 30, but it is shallow. It is there's no big message in the end. Definitely casually racist. It's fun. It's silly, but it just doesn't. It's not. But I don't think it's meant to. This movie gets extra points for doing what it's meant to do, and it seems like it's meant to just be like a fun adventure fantasy movie. And I don't disagree. There are things I wish would be cut out, but I don't know if those things necessarily take away from the whole movie.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, I think we could find, like, taking the 88 and the 30, what they both say, combine them, average what their scores are, and that's a pretty
58.
Accurate. Yeah.
Well, that's not how average works.
That's not how average works.
Oh. I just subtracted. So what would you grade it in any scale you choose? No, that's not true. A through F. What do you give it?
F. Yeah. I feel pretty okay about this one. I think it's a B. I think it's a B.
Yeah,
maybe B.
Fair.
B minus. Like it's not like super great. It's not bad. Maybe I think of the grading scale wrong. I think it's a little bit better than a C.
Yeah, I think
it's in the
C
B range.
But so like grading wise, C is passing.
Right.
C is passing. B shows a little more ability. A is you nailed it. Like this is 100% it. I would give it like a B minus C plus, somewhere in that range. Like some parts of the movie are definitely B minus, and some parts of the movie are definitely C plus.
Right.
So whatever the average out there, it's fun. It's aggressively one-liner, but the pacing is pretty good. I will say the thing that is most excellent on it is its pacing. Its pacing is fantastic. Like you get the summary of the curse, then you get your introduction to Rick, Then you get your introduction to Evie, which you're like, how is this librarian going to be fun? And then she destroys a library in moments. And you're like, wow, even in this quiet moment, there's a lot of action happening. And then Jonathan's introduced by laying in bed with a dead person.
Yep. Which was kind of weird.
Also, and then the prison scene is, it's kind of moving along. The boat, there's more action, but you are getting character development. You're getting a little exposition, but you're also getting, this building relationship between... I will give it credit. I thought I was going to hate how Evie and Rick come to be. Like, he kisses her, but they do spend a lot of time saying, like, he thought he was going to die. Is it okay? He knows it's not okay, but he was also like, I was going to die. Yeah. It was kind of a desperation move. But then the relationship kind of builds, and there's a little bit of that, like, it's trauma. They're doing this because of trauma, but he likes that she's smart and that she knows what she's doing, and that she just has this wealth of knowledge, and she likes that he's smart too. Like, he's not dumb. He just suddenly has a moment where you realize this big, gruff, tough guy doesn't really know how to talk to women. Which was a great little, like, turn of the... They could have made him really confident and, all that stuff. But they made him a little self-conscious with Evie, which was a nice turn. And then they didn't move too fast with it. Yeah, it didn't feel like it just went from, like, nothing to all in. Yeah. And I feel like his character, I mean, except for, obviously, the kiss at the beginning where he thought he was going to die. But, like, the rest of their interactions with each other, like, he is relatively respectful to her. Yeah. He's not just, like, seeing her as the prize. Like, he is. Well, and that's the hard part, because, like, there's a couple scenes where she does stuff that is arguably they're not good ideas, and they're not safe. Like, she's going into the situation head first without checking her surroundings, kind of thing. And he turns her away from that, and he does it in, like, a rude way, but also like a forceful way, which, I don't know, good or bad, it's not great. I don't like it, but also, like, he's doing a lot to just try to save her from her own naivete, I guess. Like, she might just be a little naive about the situation. I'm not sure. Within the character, it's a little confusing, because sometimes she's tactical as can be, and then sometimes it's like she's a baby doe. Like, it doesn't... and that's within the writing. That isn't, like... me saying that about her. I just think the writing does a poor job of creating, like, a continuity of character within her. And so Rick has to respond. Yeah, something I forgot to mention earlier was, like, the character that they introduce her as, like, she's very inconsistent in, like, her character traits throughout. Like, she's clumsy at the beginning, but then she's not really clumsy anywhere else. But then she's kind of, like, not paying attention to things. But then she's, like, super smart and knows how to do everything. So there are some things in her character that are like, wait, what what happened here with that? Right. But and those eyebrows, man. I just want to know, like, is it a reference to the original? Did she have really thin eyebrows? Am I unaware of something? Anyway, a lot of just the style. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It was a weird choice. It'd be great if that's what we get the most hate for. Anyway, oh no. Yeah, she kind of has the original one. She kind of has thin eyebrows, but it's not They make her eyebrows really thin in the movie. Anyway, what did I like least? Her eyebrows. I didn't like her. I didn't like it. But I like Brendan's. What a fine man.
That guy's handsome too.
Gosh, friggin' handsome. Anyway.
C+, B-.
Yeah, like, it's fun. I'll show it to my kids, but like you said, like, it's not a horror movie. There's some kind of scary stuff. Like, there's some unsettling stuff, so I'm going to definitely wait. It earned its PG-13 rating for sure.
The scene where the like the warrior mummies come back and they're like climbing on the walls for some weird reason.
They're ninjas.
My wife was like, I will never forget this. Like, just being tormented by the like spider skeletons on the wall.
Hold on. I do have one thing that I thought was really funny. I don't know if it counts as a quote, but it's in that same thing where he first sees them, he yells, they yell back, and he goes, no. And so he runs away, and then he tiptoes over the water, but I was wearing headphones, so it was the first time I heard it. He actually goes like, hit, 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 hit. Like, he makes little sound effects for it, and I had never heard that before, and I'm like, that is a strictly comedian joke. Like, that is strictly like a comedy edition. There's no reason to do that. He probably wouldn't do that in the moment, but he was literally like, and then they just jump over. So, yeah. Anyway, so from us here at Review Rewind, we want to make sure you know not to drink and review, or no. Dang, rewind. Shoot.
You messed. It's the second thing you've messed up.
I think that's like the 9th thing I've messed up. Anyway, keep rewinding. Keep going back to those review. Don't believe review. It's a dead art, right? No one gives a crap about reviewers anymore, right?
I think reviewing is subjective to the viewer,
right?
And that also most professional critics,
that's the word. Critics are a dying art, right?
Aren't looking at the same things that the audience is looking at. So it's kind of a toss up. I generally try to find the best between both audience and critic reviews, because audiences are stupid and the critics are. I mean, let's be honest.
Our audience is the best audience.
Our audience is the best audience, and they know exactly what they're talking about all the time, and they never have bad ideas ever.
Bail. Yeah.
I think you know what I mean.
Anyway. I don't. I got another burp. We'll see you guys next week or whenever we do it. And I think I have heartburn. Oh, God. Keep reviewing those rewinds, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Oh, that doesn't make sense, but that rhymes. That might be it.
Oh. What you say?
I don't either. Bye.